Reddit, what movie helped you through a rough time? I saw Paul Blart Mall Cop after my grandpa died back in December, and just being able to laugh really helped me. When I moved into college I was feeling really homesick, but when I saw Paul Blart Mall Cop it made me forget about that for almost 2 good hours. Had some good laughs, would really recommend. ITT, people whose lives have been drastically affected by Kevin James's acting. My dinner with Andre always picks me up. I was at my lowest point, with a failed relationship and the loss of my business. I watched Paul Blart Mall Cop and then started picking up the pieces. Thanks to that movie I was able to rebuild. Will recommend. Breakfast Club. Paul Blart Mall Cop cured my cancer, saved my dying great-uncle, and got me over my heroin addiction. God bless Kevin James's warm, overweight soul. A while back I was in a dark place. I'd been depressed for a long time, and my life was spiraling out of control. I was unemployed, spending all my time alone. The only social interaction I had was spending Sunday evenings at my parents' house. My parents, my sister, her son, and I would eat dinner and watch The Incredibles, my nephew's favorite movie. Looking back, those Sunday nights were the only thing keeping my head above water. Even so, I got to the point where I just wanted to end it. I was eating what I had planned to be my last meal with the TV on in the background, when I heard something familiar. The Incredibles had just randomly come on. I got slammed with memories of Sunday nights. I freaked out and changed the channel, and what comes on but Paul Blart Mall Cop. Kevin James gave me a reason to live. Also I bought a Segway. Deleted. Lost in translation. A friend had me watch Swingers after a breakup. Didn't work. But Paul Blart Mall Cop did. Not sure if you can consider the Band of Brothers mini-series a movie, but that was my go-to. Such a fantastic piece of art. Has to be Paul Blart Mall Cop and Backdoor Sluts 9. After both my parents and all the people I loved died in the same week, watching Paul Blart Mall Cop really lifted my spirits. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone just reminds me of childhood. When I had some pretty bad depression and couldn't sleep, I put it on every night and it played on repeat, so I never felt alone. It just felt like total comfort and safety having it there. My girlfriend left me after a 2-year relationship. I loved watching old cartoons that I used to watch when I was younger. Tom and Jerry, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Jimmy Neutron. I eventually got tired of these shows as I realized one day that I'm a middle-aged man watching cartoons in his underwear. So I eventually fell in love with another form of comedic entertainment, which was Paul Blart's Mall Cop. We'll watch that shit for days. This'll probably be downvoted, but Paul Blart Mall Cop helped me get through some shit. Truly an inspiring film. Edit, I could not be happier that this is my highest rated comment. I hope I have inspired those who hadn't yet seen the genius that is Paul Blart Mall Cop to do so. After being disappointed by Interstellar, Paul Blart Mall Cop really lifted my spirits. Probably a whole bunch of movies have helped me through my life. All of you can probably relate to me, whichever one I name. Understandably so, since there are so many influential films out there. Like action films, romance films, and comedies. But seriously, there is one movie that stands above the rest. Lovable favorite I depend on. A personal, timeless classic. Reddit, you know what I'm talking about. That one. Many of you have already pointed it out in this thread. Actually, almost all of you. Lengthy posts detailing the glory of this movie. Living in the same era as this masterpiece is a blessing. Come, all, say the name with me. Op, you too. Peasants, I order you to look at the first letter of each sentence. Deleted. Paul Blart Mall Cop saved my marriage. Paul Blart Mall Cop. Why did this happen? I'd say Paul Blart Mall Cop really was the glue that held my family together after my mom was laid off and my brother's fatal car accident. Wall-E. I was in a rough spot. All I'm gonna say. The movie made me so happy. What's even happening here? I watched Paul Blart after I got the sickening post-ejaculation feeling, was erect in seconds. 11/10. Mall Paul Cop Blart. Guys, this isn't funny. Op asked a question he wanted serious answers for, and this is just really annoying and sad because I feel the need to tell my story. I'll answer the question for real. When I was 13, life didn't go too well. My grandmother and my aunt died in the same month. I was becoming severely depressed and nothing gave me meaning. Nothing would ever seem to cheer me up, but the moment I got the Blu-ray DVD of Paul Blart Mall Cop, all my fear and sadness melted away. Kevin James is my portly mustachioed hero. Paul Blart Mall Cop saved my dog's life. Paul Blart Mall Blart. I was homeless from June 2009, September 2012. One thing you don't realize about being homeless is how disconnected you become from popular culture. I hadn't heard whatever the biggest song was, or watched the big blockbusters that came out. I was separated from what the rest of the world was talking about. Then one day I see that a local movie theater is playing Paul Blart Mall Cop for free. Seeing as how I hadn't enjoyed a movie in years, I decided to watch it. I was blown away by the incredible writing and the heart-stopping performance by Kevin James. So much so, that I continued to take advantage of the theater's free screenings of the movie for several weeks. It helped me get back on my feet and introduced me to what real cinema is. Dead Poets Society used to be the movie I watched whenever something terrible happened: breakup, family death, losing a job. The inspiration was heartfelt, and at the end I knew that I could overcome this, that by embracing life and standing up I could take on the world and truly live for the first time in my life. Several years later I have seen the movie again and again, and now, of course, I have seen flaws in the film, but it had led me to a new path, a film that is more virtuous in motivation but also the belief in becoming bigger than oneself. That by standing up in the face of evil we can all become heroes. Now while the lead in this movie I'm referencing is much more of a man than I could ever aspire to be, if I can become just a mere fraction of the man he is, well damn, I'd have something to be proud. Of course, I'm talking about Kevin James in Paul Blart Mall Cop. It still irks me to this day that there's all this hoopla over Leo never getting an Oscar when Kevin James was clearly robbed. Paul Blart Mall Cop is a timeless classic. Once, in a shopping mall, the power went out on the escalator. I was trapped for hours, standing on those damned moving stairs. Thankfully I had my laptop and a copy of Paul Blart Mall Cop. Marvelous movie, so well written and moving. So I walked to the food court, sat down and had a few hours of laughs. Of course, I had to walk back up the escalator to wait for rescue. Those damned escalators. Came here expecting good movie recommendation, god damn it. What the fuck is going in this thread right now? Bowel plot, call mop. Paul Blart Mall Cop is the best porn I've ever seen. It's helped me through any rough day. Coming home to watch it is what keeps me going. Doctors hate Paul Blart Mall Cop, doubles your penis size in hours. I really felt a connection to a small movie called Latrimutrine. The themes of loss and rebirth pointed me to a much better movie, Paul Blart Mall Cop. It truly changed me at the very core during a very rough time in my life. Paul Blart Mall Cop really made me reevaluate my life and question why I didn't own a Segway. What the actual fuck is going on in this thread? The perks of being a wallflower. I still remember watching it the first time and having to pause it because it hit too close to home. I full-on sobbed for 20 minutes. For the first time I wasn't alone in my depression and being left behind while everyone went off to college. Edit, fixed a word. This thread is hilarious. Good job Reddit. Seriously though. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I remember watching the hell out that movie when I was really depressed in college. Not a movie but deadly women helped channel some rage I was feeling towards an inattentive boyfriend I had at the time of a major surgery. Whenever I'm going through a tough situation, I just turn on the television and watch Paul Blart Mall Cop. I end up crying tears of joy every time I watch it, because Kevin James is so beautiful. Just about pulled the trigger of the gun in my mouth until I saw Paul Blart Mall Cop. Forgot all about suicide. I'd have you say V for Vendetta and Dr. Git. Now I'll quantify that somewhat. A few years ago I left England to live with my wife elsewhere. And like you would expect, you get terribly homesick and depressed around the holidays. V or Vendetta started when I just wanted to feel close to home the first year I was away. Bonfire night was my favorite time of year AF a child. Just watching a film based on the idea of Guy Fawkes made me feel better. Like I was back home on November the 5th. This has become a yearly ritual with myself and my wife sitting down every November 5th to watch it. Then it's the big one. As a child, my father and I would watch old Doctor Who episodes at Christmas. It was a tradition every year. This continued when BBC renewed the series in 2005. So every Christmas I get a copy from the net, sit down, and it makes me feel better about missing my friends and family. As I know they are doing the exact same thing as I am. It may now seem much, but it makes me feel more connected to my loved ones that are thousands of miles away every holiday season. Edit. The fuck is Paul Blart Mall Cop it?